Anne Hathaway's new movie Serenity is a total hit. The popular actress has had a roller coaster career, and it doesn't seem to be stopping anytime soon. From being named the most hated star in Hollywood to being shamed for her looks, check out the ins and outs of Anne Hathaway's strange reputation in the industry. Anne Hathaway has had a hard time as a Hollywood actress. It's one of those names you immediately recognize, but you find out that people associate Anne with different things. For some, Les Miserables immediately comes to mind. Some even remember her as the relatable Mia Thermopolis from The Princess Diaries. But for others, it's the memes, the haircut, the cringe, and the backlash she received for some of her work and interviews. Of course, she is still loved by many, and her new movie Serenity is absolutely amazing. But we're here to reveal the complete timeline of Anne Hathaway's backlash from Hollywood and fans around the world. Anne, who was previously known as Annie, was passionate about being an actress since she was in high school. She landed her first important role when she was just 16. It was in the TV show Get Real, starring the one and only Jesse Eisenberg. It wasn't long after that when she got the role that would change her life and become a huge part of a lot of 90s kids' childhoods. The Princess Diaries was her first big screen debut, and the one that immediately catapulted her into the life of a movie star. Let's be honest, it's the movie that's absolutely amazing and one that really turned her into a star. Hollywood definitely saw potential in Anne after that, and she was quickly crowned as the actress with the biggest breakthrough. She also starred in movies like The Devil Wears Prada, Becoming Jane, and Rachel Getting Married, which won her her first Golden Globe and an Oscar. Of course, that was only the beginning for this talented actress, who was featured in many classic movies that are also some of our faves. She was definitely one of those actresses that seemed to be on the up and up all the time, but it wasn't always easy. Her Golden Girl days came to an end when suddenly everyone seemed to have turned on her. The first moment dates back to 2012, which included a series of unfortunate events that crowned Anne as Intolerable Hathaway. It all started when she watched her performance as Fantine in Les Miserables, and she cried. People found it a bit weird and quickly called her vain, considering most actors can't even handle looking at themselves on screen. Despite explaining that she cried because she was still connected to the creation of the movie, this was the first reason why Hollywood suddenly saw Anne in a different light. The media also criticized her for the way she talked about having to lose weight for her Les Miserables role. While other actors criticized the industry and pressure they were under for method acting, Anne's answers were slightly different. According to the media, she was begged by the director to stop losing weight because she was so dedicated to her role. It's unclear whether this was in any shape or form connected to an eating disorder, but at the time, people thought it was another show and tell of Anne's over-the-top dedication to acting. And it really didn't get positive feedback. She also revealed that she thought her entire Les Miserables performance was Those were her words, of course. Honestly, she literally said she wasn't that impressed with her performance. And to make things even stranger, this was after she was totally moved to tears while watching it in the first place. Back in the day, the media didn't really know what to do with this strange disconnect Anne had with Les Mis. From then on, her feelings about Les Miserables confused those who absolutely loved the movie. It is definitely considered a classic, but it seems strange that one of the biggest stars of the movie wasn't really happy with the result. In 2011, Anne co-hosted the Oscars, which was described as an utter train wreck due to her lack of chemistry with her co-host James Franco. She claimed that she was so happy and positive about hosting the Oscars, so the feedback she received the next day completely destroyed her. But the backlash really began when Anne got her pixie haircut. Seriously, for some reason, people were not having it. You can probably find a dozen memes about her haircut online, and honestly, we're not quite sure about this one. Perhaps it goes back to Mia Thermopolis and her long, crazy hair. Either way, Anne was completely ridiculed for her hair. And then the BAFTA speech happened. In 2012, Anne accepted the award for Best Actress in a Supporting Role for playing Fantine. She had this ridiculously long speech that was totally scripted and featured one bad joke after another. It's something you have to see to fully appreciate the cringe, so we won't spoil it for you. And let's just say it wasn't the only time she had a speech mishap. gap. But hey, we learn as we go, right? By that time, Anne gathered quite the hate club for herself. In 2013, she was also crowned for having one of the biggest Oscar speech errors after it was clear she rehearsed the moment before. She later addressed that the speech was completely fake and a result of her still dealing with the aftermath of her method acting in Les Miserables. She revealed that she was still in her character's headspace at the time and that she didn't really feel happy to be winning an Oscar. Of course, this explains why people immediately spotted her complete lack of authenticity in her speech. Anne also added that she felt wrong for standing there in a gown that cost more than some people are going to see in a lifetime. She also didn't feel comfortable with winning an award for portraying pain that still felt very much a part of the collective experience as human beings. It really looks like Anne wishes she never did Les Miserables, right? Most actors are able to eventually move on from their breakthrough roles, but it appears that she was completely immersed in the life of her own character. It's not unheard of, but her comments about Les Mis didn't do her any favors. Her behavior only perpetuated more hate and the raised eyebrows from Hollywood in general. Not only did it look like she didn't appreciate the role that launched her A-list fame, it also looked like she didn't know how to handle the Hollywood lifestyle at all. This is precisely why it was so hard for her to break out of the Les Mis role. It appeared that she became typecasted, which pretty much means she was only handed the same roles that didn't really bring her any passion. She said she never identified with the vanilla roles she was given, and at the same time, she worried how her looks would compete with the other Hollywood girls. Typecasting happens to a lot of actors. While some accept their fate, others often admit they wished they'd be considered for different roles. Typecasting and everything else that went on in her life made Anne take a break from Hollywood. Since 2016, she's been accepting fewer roles that allowed her to step back from that same old bland character. Of course, this didn't stop the haters. Although she might not have been appearing in any big roles, the internet never forgets. You can still find GIFs and memes of Anne online. And with her big comeback in 2018 and 2019, the hate club is definitely in full swing yet again. It looks as though Anne has been able to process and work through what seemed to have been some sort of emotional trauma that resulted from the method acting she put into her role as Fontaine in Les Miserables. Despite the fact that the movie was entirely life-changing for a lot of people, it seemed to have brought Anne a ton of pain. 2013 was definitely one of the best and worst years for Anne. Imagine winning an Oscar and at the same time not being able to celebrate it, much less enjoy it. It seems like there was a lot going on in her mind, and we're just happy she was able to find peace. Nowadays, Anne definitely looks happier and ready to have her big comeback in the industry. She did admit that the hate gets to her, but we have a feeling most people would say the same if they were in her position. However, the truth is that Anne Hathaway is still incredibly talented. So what's in store for her in the future? Well, she just came out with a brand new movie called Serenity, where she stars alongside Matthew McConaughey. Luckily for Anne, her new role is much more intense than everything she's ever done before. Serenity is a thriller, and Anne plays Matthew's ex-wife. We won't reveal anything else, but let's just say it's very, very intense. It's amazing to see her in such a new role, and honestly, it suits her. We can see why she was so unhappy with typecasting, and why she wanted to step away from Hollywood. Anne's IMDb page looks incredibly busy when it comes to 2019 projects. She appears to be listed as an actress in the movie called The Hustle, one called The Witches, and a TV series called Modern Love. By the looks of it, she's really going for as many different roles as possible, and honestly, we're happy for her. One of the rumored projects listed also states it's an untitled Sesame Street project, and the potential of seeing Anne involved in Sesame Street makes us so excited. She seems to be doing extremely well for herself mentally, as well as career-wise. It looks like the industry is ready to forgive her for her past unintentional mistakes. Hopefully, her fans will forgive her too, and her haters maybe can move on, like seriously? So 2013. Anne, of course, is keeping busy outside her Hollywood life. And life has definitely moved on for her. As a mom, she makes sure her son's life is as private and paparazzi-free as possible. In 2016, she also became a UN Global Goodwill Ambassador, where she often talks about the importance of paid family leave and affordable childcare. So not only is she busy being a mom, she's also turning around her Hollywood reputation, and we feel like she'll do just fine. We got you, girl. We can't wait to see your future projects. Also, all this Anne Hathaway talk got us super nostalgic. We're gonna give The Princess Diaries a quick rewatch, and may or may not follow that with Les Miserables. Okay, we may. Strike that, we will. Okay, what's your favorite Anne Hathaway movie? Do you think she deserved the backlash she got from the industry? Have you seen Serenity yet? We have a lot of questions, and we'd love to hear your answers. Let us know in the comments, and let's talk it out. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to The Taco for more videos like this one.